And so we have the problem of Solomon. Jeroboam is God's solution. We have the problem of Ahab. Jehu is the solution. But the solution has negative effects, and God knows that. He knows that. I want to tell you, I believe that God, however you want to view it, He has either allowed this virus to happen or He's causing it to happen. I'm not going to try to, I personally believe He's caused it. Like, I don't think He's like, I believe that His allowance of it, I believe He has cause for it. I believe He's trying to draw people to Him. I believe, I tell you what, lost people are beginning to really think about death. And really, a virus like this causes us all to face death and face reality and think about things. The lost begin to seek a solution and thus begin seeking God. Sickness and death and job loss, it's a reality check. It's chaos. But there can be a negative effect to this solution. You see, God is trying to draw people to Him. He's trying to get people's minds on Him. He's trying to get people seeking after Him. He's trying to get people to be real with Him. But that solution, the solution being, hey, I'll send a virus. Hey, I'll allow this virus to get people's attention. The solution can have negative effects. The negative effects can be people so paranoid about meeting in groups in the future, they stop meeting altogether. I mean, I'm not talking about the safety precautions that we're taking at this current time. I'm talking about in the future. I'm talking about 2 years from now, when people are so paranoid about being around groups of people that all of a sudden they don't come to church anymore. I'm talking about, 5 years from now, where we knock on the door of somebody and invite them to church, and they're like, "Oh, I don't do that." Ever since that coronavirus stuff, I don't ever go to meetings with people that I don't have to. Now, I'll be curious to see if the football games stop having attendees to it. I'll be curious to see if the basketball games have trouble filling their seats when all this blows over. I'll be curious to see if the rock concerts and the rap concerts have trouble selling tickets and filling seats after this is all said and done. But I guarantee you, people are going to claim paranoia about meeting in groups and going to try to stop meeting in the future. Our decision to suspend services for the time being, I really believe it's the Lord's will that we do that. And I'm also aware that there can be negative side effects. I believe it's the current solution. I really do. If I didn't, then I wouldn't make that decision. But I do see that there can be negative side effects. You see, Jeroboam was the solution to Solomon. And Jehu was the solution to Ahab. But there are negative side effects. And we need to be aware of those. We need to be aware of those. I've been talking to some preachers, some other preachers, and they're aware of this too. You see, the people of our persuasion, we believe that the meaning of the word church means to assemble. Literally, you have to assemble to be a church. It's kind of like the word tithe that literally means a tenth or 10%. The word baptism is from the word baptizo, which literally means to immerse. I mean, there's some literal meanings to things. And the literal meaning of church is ecclesia. It's the Greek word ecclesia, and it means a called out assembly. People have to assemble. And so if people tell me, and I've had people tell me, well, I go to church on TV, or I go to church on this, that, and the other. And I understand right now we're quarantining, and I get that. But that's not church. That is not church. But I've been talking to other preachers, and they're a little bit concerned about this too. I was talking to one preacher, and he said the first Sunday that we were out, he said me and my family didn't know what to do with ourselves. He said, but the second Sunday night, I was out with my kids, and we were playing with water balloons. He turned to his wife and said, "Well, this could get dangerous." People could get used to this laying out of church stuff. Get real used to it. Can I tell you that I believe that God would like to use this virus for good? I believe He'd like to draw people to it, but can I tell you the devil would like to use it also? And he'd like to use it to permanently split up churches and permanently drive people away from the house of God. Now, this is not to say that, let me go ahead in my notes here, but you want to know why this is bothering Bible preachers and Bible pastors? Because they know the biblical definition of the word church means to assemble. There are two big dangers that I see coming our way in the future for churches. Two really big ones. I'm sure there's more. There's just two that really stand out to me. Number one, germophobia. The thing we call germophobia. In the future, be careful being so germophobic that you swear off church altogether. There's coming a day they're going to have an immunization for this. They are perfecting treatments for it already. Be careful getting caught up in germophobia. God has not given us a spirit of fear. I do believe He's given us some common sense, some wisdom. I believe He's given us doctors to give us medical advice and things of that nature. But be careful letting this go to a phobia, germophobia. Secondly, I can see another problem coming our way in comfortability. People are getting comfortable not being a part of a church. People are getting in a comfort zone of that. Be aware of those two problems that are coming our way. Germophobia and comfortability. God was basically saying to Jeroboam and Jehu, I intended this, and you've done thus. He had this intention, but here's what they actually wound up doing. See, he had the solution, but there were negative side effects. God might say to us, hey, I intend this for this time, for this virus. I intend this, but you've wound up doing this. I intend to draw people to me, and I intend after a time here to reassemble the churches, and I intend to bring people back to me. But you've completely gotten comfortable and germophobic, and you're not interested in church anymore. I really hope God doesn't have to say that to us down the road. Be aware that this exists, that God can actually do something and mean to bring good out of it, but we are the problem. And it has negative side effects. How should we be right now? Our feelings should be something more along the lines of, oh, how I miss church. And oh, how I miss my church family. Those should be more of our thoughts and feelings. I hope they are of yours. I don't know. I can't look in everybody's heart. With Jeroboam and Jehu, get this, we get to see who they really are. I mean, that's one thing Jeroboam and Jehu, the stories here show us. We get to see who they really, really are. It's a good time to check ourselves and ask, who am I? Who am I really? Do I really value church? Do I really value my church family? Do I really love God? Do I really love... I was telling a preacher, we were talking about this, and he said, I think we're going to see what people really want. And what people really want church and which ones don't. Do I really value assembling with God's people? Are they my people? Have I made them my people? In closing, let me say this to you. The solution can have negative side effects. First of all, we need to be aware of the side effects. The two big ones I can see coming are germophobia and comfortability. Be aware of the side effects. Seek God's help with these side effects. Through prayer. Pray and ask God to give you to give you strength and wisdom and courage. To help you not get into too much of a comfort zone here with this current system. Seek God's help through prayer. Seek God's help through the Bible. Make sure that you're taking this time to really get into the Scriptures. You know, there's been good and bad things from this whole quarantining thing. For one thing, I've got to spend more time with my family. I've been enjoying that. The other night, our electricity went off, and me and Johnny and the kids, we lit some candles and had flashlights, and we read books and looked at books and just spent time together. And the kids looked around and said, "Man, we need to do this more often." And they're right. We do need to do that more often. See, there can be good things coming from this thing. Spend time with our family. We spend time reading. I've been catching up on some reading I've been putting behind. Been putting off. It's been a good side effect. I'll tell you this. I was wanting to get a YouTube going for the church for a while. I didn't want it under this circumstances, but I've been wanting to work on this project, and now it's been moved up to the front row. We need to seek God's help in our Bible. We need to make sure we're in our Bibles during this time. We need to make sure that we're in Bible preaching during this time. Any messages that we post for our church family, I hope you'll make yourself take advantage of those resources. There are other Bible preachers out there. I'd love to suggest some of them to you. I've already had some folks telling me that they've been listening to Brother Toby over at Hope and Brother Tim over at D Queen, Brother Kyle over at Anglican. That's a blessing. That's a blessing. Stay in the Bible preaching. And then lastly, be aware there's coming a time when this will be past us. Decide to love your church more than ever. Do you realize what you got? That's one thing that this whole situation can show us, is that we don't know what we've got till it's gone. I want you to realize what a blessing you've got in your church family. I hope you realize that. I hope you realize what a blessing it is to have a church family. Let's go to the Lord in prayer. Heavenly Father, Lord, I just pray that you'll help us to realize that there's some dangers here. I pray that you'll help us to be aware of them. I pray that you'll help us to be strong in this time. I pray that, Lord, that you'll guide us and direct us and help us through this time. I pray, dear Lord, that you'll keep our love for our church family strong and on fire. Lord, I pray that since we're not able to meet right now, Lord, I pray that you'll keep us all strong in our faith, strong in our Bible. Lord, I pray that you'll in fact, when you bring us back together, Lord, I pray that you'll help us to be stronger, have a stronger bond, be a stronger church family than we've ever been before. Dear Lord, I pray that you'll work this out now. I pray that you'll revive us in this current situation. Lord, I lift us up to you now in Jesus' name.